another opportunity to survive. Darren Moore has come in and changed something. David, you're currently doing your pro license certification, and your subject, your thesis at the end of this season is based on discrimination in the game with regards to managers in the Premier League. Would Darren Moore fall under this category, and he might change the entire concept?
Well, I just hope none of the board are watching, because you're just giving away my thesis. But anyway, no, what I mean, the discrimination was more about English managers getting opportunities in the Premier League. And yes, Darren Moore absolutely fits the description, because English managers are either journeymen, your likes of Alan Pardew, in the past Sam Allardyce, or you get promotion with a club. Dyche has done
Burnley,
it, Howe at Bournemouth, or you get promotion within the club whilst they're in the Premier League. So Darren Moore is on the cusp of becoming possibly a Premier League manager, or obviously a Championship manager if he was to take the job next season. So what he's done, as I say, with 5 games gone, tremendous result. Trevor Brooking did it when the year that we got relegated with West Ham, when we actually beat West Brom on our way down and put them down with us. And as I say, it's a different animal that you've got to deal with, because at the moment he's not hiring or firing anyone. There'll be players in there, and the question was mentioned before the game, you know, what will these players be playing for? Will it be to get transfers somewhere else? Well, he can't answer that question because he hasn't got the authority at the moment. And his easiest answer will be, let's see if we stay up.
Yep.
Then once you become the manager, it becomes a completely different conversation, because then he's in the position where he's changing people's lives. At the moment, all he's doing is trying to preserve Premier League existence.
But as an audition, he's done a great job, hasn't he?
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, he couldn't have done much better, could he?
One of the interesting things is and I've seen it so many times, having been a player in a side where a caretaker manager's come in.
Yeah.
Stuart Pearce did it at Manchester City. They have a fantastic audition.
Yeah.
And then once they realise they've actually got to make decisions which affect people's lives permanently, then the pressure starts actually telling.
Yeah.
They change the way that they approach. The conversation becomes different, because the player knocks the door and says, what about my new contract? You're the guy who's going to give me the answer. So I like Darren Moore. I met him a few times on the coaching courses. Wonderful gentleman. And I hope that he does right and sort of proves me wrong that West Brom can stay up. And I hope he gets the opportunity to be a Premier League manager.
Yeah, I do as well. You know, like David's doing his pro licence at the moment. I completed mine in 2012, and Darren Moore was on the course. You know, you couldn't help but like him. You know, he was infectiously engaged with you. You know, had interesting conversations with you, and I can see why the group of players at West Bromwich Albion have come together. They were fragmented under Alan Pardew and Tony Pulis before that. They've come together, and there's no different players in there. It's just a different mentality that he's managed to create.
But stepping back and looking at the topic which you spoke about, the English managers not getting a fair opportunity or an equal right, why so? What is limiting them from taking over the top 4, top 5 clubs?
Well, I don't think it's necessarily a case of getting, because I haven't decided whether there is discrimination or not. There's a lot of factors involved. There's a lot of money been generated within the Premier League over the course of the Premier League since 92-93 season. A lot more money means you can afford a lot better calibre manager, a lot more successful. There's a lot of Spanish managers, a lot of managers of teams that have been successful in Europe are coming into the English game, and that makes it more difficult. There's a finite number, and that's a small number of qualified English managers. There's a massive amount of qualified foreign managers. Yeah. So, and also as well, I think, and Gary mentioned it before the show, the ability to speak the language of the players who are on the field, and quite often, and more often than not, they're foreign managers.
Yeah.
Players.
You know, let's be brutally honest about it. English, British coaches are not in vogue. They are not highly regarded. It's as simple as that. When I did my pro licence, for example, one of the first things that the first presentation was about was, well, actually, if you're going to work in this business, you might want to work abroad. Who in this room, 24 of us taking our pro licence, who speaks another language? Well, not many English people speak Spanish or German or Italian, but just about every single German, Spanish and French coach can speak English. So that gets them into this country. But what we do need, or in my opinion, what we need for English and British coaches, is we need success. So Howe down at Bournemouth is doing a good job. That helps. Sean Dyche is doing a great job at Burnley. That helps promote English, British coaches. There's 2 examples. You know, Sam Allardyce, whether the Everton fans agree with this or not, you know, Sam Allardyce has done a great job at Everton to drag them away from the drop zone, a British English coach. But he is seen as a really British English coach, knock it long, route one, second ball. You know, we have to change the perception of English coaches, and that's going to be one of your problems, David, getting a regular job.
And I'm happy with my job, thank you, in India. Thank you.
In England.
I'm not looking at England myself, but I think the other thing is defining success.
Yeah.
You know, the Premier League has never been won by an Englishman. Been won a few times by a Scottishman, and in the old days, you know, Scottish was foreign in our English league. So I think success is having an English manager actually win something of substance, to be able to say that we got the opportunity to get more jobs, perhaps. But listen, the Premier League is still the best